Hey, good morning and welcome to Tailgating Tips. My name is Keith Cagle and I'll be your host today on Tailgating Tips. I am the ambassador of tailgating here in Atlanta, Georgia, and today we're going to cover a lot of things. One of the things I'd like to cover is one of the more important things when it comes to tailgating, and that is the art of tapping a keg. So let's take a look at our unit here, and we'll go over in detail how to tap a keg. Okay. All right. As we turn and look at our components itself, this first component is, of course, the CO2 tank. As you can see on our tailgating trailer, it's actually installed here in the tailgating trailer on an outer wall. It consists of what you see right here, which is the CO2 tank itself, and then it's got a gauge system, and this gauge system is pretty simple. The first gauge here that you see on the left actually shows you how much CO2 that you got left in your system, and then the upper gauge, of course, will allow you to set the pounds per square inch pressure so that you can do that. And when you're operating a keg, you want to operate between 10 and 12 pounds. Also on the keg itself, this is the unit here that actually you will adjust the pounds of pressure with, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And then, of course, this right here is the open and closed valve, and in this particular position that shows it's closed, and then if you take that and turn it down, then that will open and allow the CO2 to flow through this particular tube. All right, as we follow this system, if you look here in the wall of the tailgate trailer, there is the shank. This is the shank that's actually attached to the faucet outside. Then it attaches to the beer tube here, and then the beer tubing, of course, goes on to the tap itself, which is shown down here, and then connects to the keg. All right, so those are the components. Let's take a quick look outside here. Outside is the faucet itself, and the faucet is simply just the operation of once the CO2 in the beer is flowing, then you just pull the handle towards you and the beer will flow. All right, so this is very easy. Again, the first thing that you want to do is turn the CO2 on, and that's pretty easy to do. First of all, you just take the handle here itself and open the valve, and you open the valve by turning it clockwise and just open it all the way up. That won't hurt anything. That will allow the CO2 to start flowing into the system, and then all you do is take the regulator, and again, that's this handle here, and you just turn it clockwise until you start to see a rise, and you'll notice here that we're seeing a rise in the CO2, right? You want to set that between 10 and 12 pounds, which is what we got right there. Then you've got a perfect situation on that. And then, of course, to turn it back off and down, all you have to do is turn that same unit counterclockwise, and you'll start to see the pressure fall. You see it fall there, and then always turn your CO2 off again by turning it counterclockwise with the handle here on the CO2 tank. All right, so that is all there is to do in the CO2. Once you got the CO2 turned on, then all you got to do is tap the keg. And this is not real hard, as you can notice. This is a self-contained unit, so it's got the beer tube, which is the air tube, which is this blue tube, and the beer tube, which is the clear tube, all connected to the tap. And all there is to do in the tap is to put it inside. As you can see, how we're doing here is we're putting it actually on the keg itself, and then you take the unit and you turn it clockwise until it locks. So again, you want it to fit into the system. And once it's down in the system, then you just simply turn it like this clockwise until you feel it lock. And then once it's locked, it's in place. And then the handle itself will be in an up position, which means that the keg is not tapped. And all you simply do at that point is push it down until it locks. You'll hear it click. That means it's locked. At that point, the CO2 tank will be on, and the beer will start to flow through this tube. What you want to do at that point is make sure that you got a good flow, so you ought to see an even flow of beer going through your tube, and then come out and check that status with and we don't have any beer in the system today. Then what you'll want to do, of course, is to check that with your faucet, and just to open your faucet. You see here we're getting some CO2 but nothing else. Open your faucet and make sure the beer's flowing to your desire, and you can adjust that by making the adjustments again here, and it's 10 to 12 pounds works perfect. You shouldn't have any trouble whatsoever. And that's all there is to tapping the keg. And then once you're done, very easy to untap it. Again, all you do is pull this unit towards you until it unlocks, and then the And this handle itself will be in the up position, which will untap the keg and then turn it counterclockwise, which will remove the actual unit from the keg itself, and that's all there is to it, and then you're good to go. So you can do one of two things at that point. If you got an empty keg, then of course you can return your keg to your local beer distributor. If you still got beer, then you can put it in then you can cap it with a cap that comes with it, and you can see that here, and then you can store that in a cool place, and they'll store about a month. So if you got another occasion to tap the keg, you can. And that's all there is to it, to tapping a keg. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it's helpful in creating a good tailgating experience. As always, thank you for watching Tailgating Tips. You can catch us anytime. We hope to be online very quickly at tailgatingtips.com. But until then, tune in and we'll give you some more tips. So thank you.